If someone is injured on site, where should this be recorded? In an accident book or record, on the Safe System of Work plan, on the site plan, in the method of work. What would be a good way of reducing fatigue in the workforce? Rotating shift patterns, random start and finish times, regular start and finish times, early start times and a late finish. Which of the following figures is wearing the correct personal protective equipment, PPE?
Which item of equipment would not require portable appliance testing, PAT? 110-volt extension lead, 110-volt transformer, battery-powered rechargeable drill, plug-in portable halogen light. What is the maximum length of time that a worker should work from a stepladder in one position? Less than 2 hours, less than 30 minutes, less than 90 minutes, less than 1 hour.
If a worker is feeling symptoms or showing signs of stress at work, what should they do? Speak to someone they trust, like a friend or someone independent. Arrive and start work at a later time. Tell the rest of the team about their problems. Eat or drink more during the day. If you have to use a vibrating tool, what would you expect your supervisor to do? Watch you using the tool to assess the level of vibration. Explain safe methods of use and give advice on exposure times. Measure the level of vibration every time you use the tool. Ask you to make up your own safe system of work for use of the tool. Engine-driven equipment is being used in a deep excavation. Which of the following should be in place? Gas monitoring alarms, additional excavation covers, a vehicle marshal, additional stop blocks. Evacuation routes should be used as assembly points, clear and unobstructed, lit at all times of the day, painted bright green.
What does it mean when a building has been issued with listed status? It should not be entered as it is hazardous. Permission is needed to make any changes. The council must pay for the project. An entrance fee must be charged to visitors.
Prolonged exposure to sunlight could cause what? Hair loss, abrasion, dental issues, burns.
A corrosive substance such as wet cement in direct contact with the skin will result in what? Back injury, glaucoma, skin burns, hair loss. When fumes are present, which is the most dangerous area to work in? On-site, outside, in a wooden building, a confined space, an open space.
Who is responsible for reporting any unsafe conditions on site? Everyone on the construction site. the site manager, the contracts manager, the client or principal contractor.
When is site transport allowed to drive along a pedestrian route? Only if necessary and if all pedestrians are excluded. During meal breaks? Only if the vehicle has a flashing yellow light. If it is the shortest route.
The ground has become muddy on site. What could be done to prevent the ground becoming slippery? Improve lighting. Improve signage. Treat the surface with gravel. Treat the surface with salt.
When working through a construction health and safety checklist, which of these hazardous substances should be identified? Vibration levels, noise levels, asbestos, cement. Lead, solvents, cement, asbestos. Noise levels, solvents, dust, paint. Asbestos, cement, paints, noise levels. Which two of the following are the employer's legal duties towards people at work? Provide them with free transport home. Inform you of hazards and risks at work. Supply meals free of charge. Pay wages and overtime directly into the bank. Provide and maintain clean welfare facilities.
When working with materials creating dust, what should be monitored? The smell the dust creates. The level of exposure to the dust. The direction in which the dust travels. The color of dust created.
What condition can be caused by direct sunlight on bare skin? Acne, rickets, dermatitis, skin cancer.
What does this sign mean? Emergency eye wash. Emergency shower. Safety glasses cleaning station. Warning, risk of splashing. If you discover a fire, what is the first thing that you should do? Raise the alarm. Try to put out the fire. Put your tools away. Finish what you are doing.
What is the main risk to this worker wearing only these items of personal protective equipment, PPE? Damage to hearing. Eye injuries. Dermatitis to skin. Breathing in harmful dust.
You are about to start a job. How will you know if you need a permit to work? The Health and Safety Executive, HSE, will give them out. Information will be given during the site induction before any work starts. Other workers on site will pass them on after they have finished with them. Permits to work are only required by managers on large sites. You need to work near an electric cable, but the cable has bare wires. What should you do? Tell your supervisor and keep well away from the cable. Quickly touch the cable to see if it is live. Check there are no sparks coming from the cable and then start work. Push the cable out of the way so that you can start work.
How should hazardous waste be dealt with on site? Place it in the correctly labelled container. It can be put into any skip on site. Take it to the nearest local authority waste tip. Put it in a mixed waste skip. Segregate it from other waste.
What should you do if you are in a deep trench and you start to feel dizzy? Sit down in the trench and take a rest. Make sure that you and any others get out quickly and report it. Carry on working and hope that the feeling will go away. Get out, let your head clear, and then go back in again.
What do the initials HAVS stand for? Hand and ventilation system, heavy arm vibration system, hand-arm vibration syndrome, heat and ventilation syndrome.
If a person is struck by a falling object, what could be the negative consequence? They get compensation. They get injured. They get fired. They get a promotion. What are the two conditions for being able to operate plant on site? You must hold a British passport. You must hold a full UK driving licence. You must be trained and competent. You must be authorised. You must be over 21 years old. How can the safe load rating for a scaffold platform be identified? The safe load is breached when the ledgers start to deflect. By asking the principal contractor. By asking the telehandler driver. Referring to the handover certificate or signage.
Someone collapses with stomach pain and there is no first aider on site. What should you do first? Help them to lie down in the recovery position. Ask someone to call the emergency services. Get them to take some painkillers. Ask them to sit down.
How many people are allowed on a ladder at the same time? 3 people, if it is long enough. A maximum of 2 people. Only 1 person. 1 person on each section of an extension ladder. When moving plant or machinery around site, what should the operator look out for? Only driving with limited fuel. Speed signs and speed humps. Driving with the lights on during the day. Driving with the handbrake on.
What should be done with waste concrete and washout water? Place it in a lined skip for recycling. Bury it on site as it will break down over time. Pour it down a drain with plenty of water. Bury it in a disposable bin liner.
What 2 things should you do if you need to use an extension cable? Check the whole cable and connectors for damage. Only check the part of the cable you need for damage. Clean the cable with a damp cloth. Only uncoil the length of cable you need. Uncoil the whole cable. What must be checked before working in a corridor that is a fire escape route? If the doors into the corridor are locked, that fire escape signs are removed before the work starts, if the tools being used are spark-proof, that any tools and equipment do not block the route.
A scaffold has collapsed and you saw it happen. What should you say when you are asked about the accident? Who you think should be blamed and punished? As little as possible because you don't want to get people into trouble. Exactly what you saw, giving as much detail as possible. As little as possible, as you are not a scaffold expert.
Which of the following tasks could place a worker at the greatest risk of lead poisoning if control measures were not put in place? Plastering a ceiling in a new build home. Building a wall out of old stone. Sanding down some old paintwork. Cutting timber in a roof construction.
What should you do if you need to use a mobile access tower but the brakes don't work? Get someone to hold the tower while you use it. Only use the tower if the floor is level. Do not use the tower. Use some wood to wedge the wheels and stop them moving.
General site rules would not normally include information about which one of the following: site induction procedures, near-miss and accident reporting, names and addresses of workers, personal protective equipment, PPE.
What is the main reason for having a person positioned immediately outside a confined space while work is taking place inside it? To start the rescue plan if there is an emergency. To check compliance with the method statement. To supervise the work inside the confined space. To carry out a risk assessment for the work.
You need to walk past a 360-degree mobile crane. The crane is operating near a wall. What is the main danger? Your hearing could be damaged by high noise levels from the crane. You could get whole-body vibration from the crane. You could be crushed if you walk between the crane and the wall. The crane could crash into the wall.
If your doctor has given you some medication, which of these questions is the most important to ask? Will I fail a drugs test if my employer asks for one? Will it make me work more slowly and earn less money? Will it cause me to oversleep and be late for work? Will it make me unsafe to work or operate machinery?
What is the main risk to this worker wearing only these items of personal protective equipment, PPE? Goggles misting up, limiting vision, not being able to hear colleagues, breathing in harmful dust, back injury from poor posture.
In what situation are you most likely to catch Weil's disease, leptospirosis? If you work near air conditioning units. If you drink water from a standpipe. If you work near wet ground, waterways or sewers. If you work fixing showers or baths.
If you have to move a load while you are sitting down, how much can you lift safely? Less than the usual amount. The usual amount. Twice the usual amount. 3 times the usual amount.
What illness are you most likely to develop if you breathe in dust and fumes over long periods of time? Skin cancer, laryngitis, occupational lung disease, occupational dermatitis.
If you are required to lift a heavy load, what must your employer do? Complete a risk assessment of the task. Watch you while you lift the load. Nothing. Lifting loads is a part of your job. Make sure that a supervisor is there to advise you while you lift. At what intervals should fall arrest equipment be inspected? Monthly. Every time before use. Annually. Every time after use.